Okay, let's talk about a real game changer. Imagine flipping a switch and just boom, completely transforming your entire content creation process. We're going to dive into how we can move away from that slow manual grind to a system that's so fast, it's automated, and it could honestly change everything for you. Seriously, think about it. What if you could create a full-blown blog post in 5 minutes instead of 4 hours? What would you even do with all that extra time? Now, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's the real promise of what's called an automated content pipeline. And this tech, it's already here, and it's totally reshaping how we work, turning that content marathon into a flat-out sprint. But hold on, before we jump into the solution, let's talk about the problem. We have to, right? Because for so many of us in content, the daily grind feels like being on a treadmill. You're just constantly running, trying to produce more and more, faster and faster just to keep up. It's exhausting. So let's look at the old way, the manual way. You know the drill. It all starts with hours of research, right? Then you've got to do the mental gymnastics of creating an outline. After that, you write the draft. Then come the edits. Oh, the endless edits. Then the super tedious formatting. And then finally, you get to hit publish. Every single one of those steps is a potential bottleneck. The result? It's slow, the quality can be all over the place, and trying to scale it, forget it. It is an absolute recipe for burnout. So, how do we get off this treadmill? Well, the answer is to build an assembly line. And the core idea here is a really fundamental shift in thinking. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as artisans, handcrafting every single piece of content. Instead, we need to become the architects of a streamlined, automated content factory. And that assembly line, that's what we call the automated content pipeline. Now, here's a really important point. This is not about finding one single magic prompt that does everything. It just doesn't work that way. Instead, it's a whole system of different specialized prompts that are all connected. Each one has just one job to do. One does the research, another does the outline, another does the drafting, and then it passes the work along to the next step, all with very little hands-on effort from you. Okay, so let's see this pipeline in action. It all kicks off with a really simple input from you, just a topic. From there, the first AI agent gets to work. Think of it as your dedicated researcher, just gathering up all the data and insights. Then, it hands it off to the next agent, the architect, whose job is to structure all that research into a perfect, logical outline. After that, a writer agent steps in to draft the full piece based on that outline. And finally, you've got a whole team of refiner agents that edit, format, and run quality checks until the final output is polished and ready to go. All right, so what exactly makes this whole engine work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the core components. This whole thing runs on a few key parts that all work together. First, you've got your input variables. These are things like the topic or the audience that make every piece of content unique. These variables then get plugged into prompt templates, which are basically reusable blueprints for your content. That's what ensures the quality and consistency every single time. From there, the content flows through those different pipeline stages we just talked about, with quality control checks built right in to make sure it all sounds like you. And the final piece? Integration, which can automatically send the finished content right to your blog or social media. And here's where you can really see the magic of these templates. See those little placeholders for topic and audience? That's the secret sauce. This one single blueprint can create an almost endless number of unique articles. All you have to do is swap out those variables, and the system handles the rest. It's how you get both incredible scale and rock-solid consistency at the same time. Okay, I know this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually mean in the real world? What's the actual impact? Let's put some real numbers to it and compare that manual treadmill to this new automated assembly line. So here's a classic mistake a lot of people make. They try to do everything with one giant prompt, right? They'll just type in, write a blog post about AI and healthcare. And what do they get? A generic, kind of unfocused article that needs a ton of manual editing. The pipeline approach, on the other hand, is totally different because it breaks the job down into all those specialized steps. What you get at the end is structured, it's SEO optimized, and it's pretty much ready to publish right out of the box. And the time savings here, they're not just a little better, they're exponential. We're talking about a task that used to take a solid 4 hours of your time, now getting done in about 5 minutes. That isn't just an improvement, it's a complete, mind-blowing transformation of your entire workflow. Yeah, you're looking at a staggering 90+% reduction in the time it takes to create one piece of content. An efficiency boost like that, it just unlocks a scale of production that was honestly unimaginable for most of us before now. But this is about more than just being faster or more efficient. What we're really looking at is a fundamental change in how we think about creation itself. We're moving away from focusing on the manual labor and shifting our focus to designing the systems that do the labor. Yeah, it's that shift from being the artisan to being the factory manager. And when you make that shift, you can increase your output by 10, even 100 times. And the crazy part is, you're doing it while maintaining a perfectly consistent brand voice and quality. The result? That is a massive, sustainable, competitive advantage. And this tech didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's been evolving at an incredible pace. I mean, think about it. Just a few years ago, back in 2020, we were all just playing around with single prompts. By 2022, we started seeing basic prompt chaining. And now, here in 2024, these production-ready pipelines are becoming the standard. The direction here is crystal clear. We're heading towards systems that are more and more sophisticated and more autonomous. And all of this leads to a really fascinating and I think really important question about the future of creative work. So as the machines get better and better at handling the how, the writing, the editing, the formatting, our job begins to shift. We're finally freed up to focus entirely on the why. That means the high-level strategy, the big breakthrough creative ideas, and those uniquely human insights that, frankly, an AI just can't replicate. So this isn't the end of human creativity, not at all. It's the beginning of its next evolution.